I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter, hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that.
Hold on to the bed. Good job.
That lawnmower, that's that.
And Gervonta does have a very athletic speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing, like where he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch.
Lamont Roach appears to be in panic mode after Gervonta Davis's intense new training footage surfaced ahead of their rematch. Roach admitted that after watching the footage, he knows he'll need to push himself harder this time and train with greater intensity. He acknowledged that Gervonta was impressive that night, still a hell of a fighter, and landed the most powerful punch of their first bout.
How many rematches have you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder if that didn't get me the win. And I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not going to lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter, hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same, and that's what people getting messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled him. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. It's just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
Gervonta Davis is training intensely for the rematch, determined to silence critics and prove he's still at the top of his game. Focused and disciplined, he's pushing himself harder than ever to correct past mistakes and deliver a dominant performance that leaves no doubt about his superiority in the ring.
Hold on to the bed. Good job.
That lawnmower, that's that. Start that motherfucker lawnmower.
I made the decision to train in DC because, you know, I haven't been in the coldness in a minute. I haven't even trained in the coldness in a minute, so I feel as though this will help me. I'm from Baltimore. He's not from DC. That's what I learned. I thought he was from DC too.
Gervonta Davis is taking no chances this time around. His training camp is all business, with footage showing him gliding smoothly in the ring during sparring sessions. His footwork is sharp, his movements calculated, and his reflexes on a point. He's not just going through the motions, he's executing each step with purpose. With the rematch looming, Davis knows there's no room for error. The last fight taught him that underestimating Lamont Roach could cost him, so this time, he's pushing himself to be better than ever.
Stop closing up. Gotta let it go. Keep turning, step around. Keep turning.
Beyond the finesse, Davis is also bringing intensity. In another clip, he's hammering the sandbag with explosive force, each punch thrown with real intent. It's clear that this isn't just routine, it's personal. The first fight ended with too many questions and too much noise from critics. Davis is preparing like a man who's not just aiming to win, but to dominate. He wants the rematch to be decisive, and his training reflects that hunger. Renowned Renowned boxing analyst Teddy Atlas has been vocal about Davis's unique skill set. He admires Davis's ability to remain calm in the ring, never rushing or forcing his punches. Instead, Davis patiently reads his opponent before launching a calculated strike. According to Atlas, what makes Davis stand out is his adaptability. He can fight inside, outside, and mid-range, and has the knockout power to end fights at any moment. This unpredictability makes him extremely difficult to prepare for, and Atlas believes that when Davis is focused, he's among the most complete fighters in the sport.
He's going to try to get to us, but we're going to frustrate him. He doesn't get frustrated. He takes his time. He's deliberate. You know, a lot of times at the beginning, people thought he was just a seek and destroy missile. They thought he was just a guy that got to you. And they thought that he would get over anxious. He don't get over anxious. He takes his time. He slowly closes those gaps, you know, inch by inch, step by step, and then he gets to you.
Even after the controversial draw in Davis's first bout with Roach, Rolly Romero remains confident in Tank's abilities. He firmly believes Davis is still a pound-for-pound elite, calling the fight result nothing more than a bad night. Romero emphasized that one shaky performance doesn't erase everything Davis has accomplished throughout his career. In his eyes, Davis's skill, resume, and knockout power still set him apart from the rest of the division. He's confident that with the rematch ahead, Davis will return to form and remind everyone why he's regarded as one of the best in boxing today.
That people want to discredit Tank, he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a off night with Cruz. Everyone has a off night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
One thing that clearly separates Gervonta Davis from many of his opponents is his raw knockout power. Unlike fighters who rely solely on high output or technical finesse, Davis has the ability to end a fight with a single, well-placed shot. Observers have noted that he doesn't need to force the action. His power becomes lethal once he settles into a rhythm. In contrast, while Lamont Roach showcased impressive technical skill and composure in the first fight, he lacks the kind of explosive finishing ability Davis brings. Many believe that as soon as Davis finds his groove in the rematch, the pressure and power he applies will be too much for Roach to handle, possibly ending the bout before the final bell.
Push back because Gervonta Davis is a puncher. So the extra aggression, you have to manipulate it little by little. You know, you have to instigate the extra aggression little by little. You have to get your timing in there. You have to get
my pushback.
And also, this is a southpaw. A southpaw sometimes takes a round or two extra to sort of get their timing, get your distances, because every southpaw is a little bit different. Right now, granted, they know each other, they fought in the amateurs, but it's still a lot of years away. And Gervonta does have a very athletic, speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing like where he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch, he still has what I also said in the past, a very good IQ. He's very well trained and very intelligent. His thought process in the ring has a great sense of positioning and a great sense of understanding of where he is in the ring and how to react off that. Could he be a little aggressive, more aggressive? Sure, but you got to keep in mind that you're fighting a puncher who's coming from the southpaw stance and coming from the southpaw athletic angle. Personally, me, especially knowing what has been said about Gervonta behind the scenes for years that nobody brings out, and it kind of brings to light why they keep matching him with 15 and 20-1 underdogs. There is a rumor that behind the scenes, the Gervonta, there's a lot of bitch in him. There's a lot of front runner in him. If you push him, he will break, he will fold. It starts to add up because Lamont is from the D.C. area. They kind of know this. They grew up around him. They fought in the amateurs.
His father, who's his coach, has coached Gervonta in fights.
So that thing sort of comes to light where it's been held back from the public with the limited opposition level that Gervonta's fought most of his career.
Boxer Jaron Ennis weighed in on the fight and said while Davis didn't control the fight entirely, his early rounds were effective. Many fans forget that Davis landed solid shots and controlled the pace early on. Ennis stressed that the first match has led to more conversations about Davis's image than his actual performance. The rematch gives him the opportunity to quiet the noise and remind the world why he's still considered a top-tier fighter. For Gervonta Davis, the rematch with Lamont Roach goes beyond just settling the score. It's deeply personal. The controversial draw in their first bout shook his pride and raised questions about his standing among boxing's elite. Davis knows his reputation took a hit, and he's determined to fix that. This fight isn't just another event on his calendar. It's a mission. He's training with unmatched focus, pushing himself harder than ever, because he wants to eliminate all doubt surrounding his performance.
You know I gotta ask you about fights. Gervonta Davis, draw with Lamont Roach. People looking at it as controversial because of the whole knee. What'd you think of the fight?
It was a great fight. You know, I had it 7-5 Tank, or you can make it the draw. But I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job actually. You know, I just don't think he did enough to pull it off. You know, and I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first like 5-6 rounds. You know, he was like boxing and frustrating him a little bit. You know, but Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job. You know.
Yeah, some people had it Tank, some people had it draw, some people had it Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being a big name, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw. You know, I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still like frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. Like, he looked sharp to me. You know, I don't know. People just be talking. You know, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
Davis isn't merely aiming to defeat Roach. He wants to dominate, send a clear message, and reclaim the respect he feels was lost. For him, this rematch is about legacy, redemption, and proving he's still at the very top.
We got to talk about it. So Tank officially came out and says that he wants to put this rematch as early as May. Now, if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove himself. Now, in my personal opinion, his stock has already risen. He is already notable. The fact that he went toe-to-toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter. Because he's directly in line to go against the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakur Stevensons, and etc., the Devin Haney's, and etc. I can see him moving up and going against a Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself. But let's talk about something else. And that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet. As a hairstylist, there was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was going to look at them like, I don't want her braiding my hair. No one would have said that. But she hurt herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims, on all his receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, oh, this had no grease or oil in it. No one cares. Nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet. But you guys let me know in the comments. Should she have remained quiet, or should she have did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know.
After the first fight, Teofimo Lopez noted that Davis seemed somewhat abandoned by parts of the boxing community. The draw created doubt around him, and some began questioning whether Davis had lost his edge. Lopez pointed out that Davis is now fighting not just Roach, but also the perception that he's on the decline. The rematch is a test to see if Davis can rise above that narrative and win back public confidence.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you're winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw. Look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but you know, it's a part of our psychology.
we have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
The initial bout against Roach turned out to be one of the most grueling matches of Davis's career. Roach didn't just survive, he competed at an elite level and gave Davis problems he hadn't faced before. Many fans saw Davis struggling with Roach's timing and range. The rematch will determine if Davis can adapt or if Roach simply has his number. Either way, it's a test of growth and grit.
And most notably, I'll just speak about a fight that, we just had with Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. My message to Tank after that fight, it was given a draw. A lot of controversy around Tank taking a knee due to hair banding his face or his eyes, so forth and so on, and burning his eyes. And, in my opinion, it was a competitive fight. The judges judged it as a draw. A lot of people were saying it was rigged, all these different things, so forth and so on. Whatever it may be. The fight is over.
Davis's trainer revealed that they came into the first fight fully aware of Roach's abilities. Their strategy was deliberate, though it didn't produce the desired outcome. Interestingly, the team may not change much for the rematch. Instead, they plan to refine the same approach and improve its execution. This shows they still have confidence in their original plan. It just needs to be better delivered this time.
Surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, that they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity,
Mm-hmm. Speaking of rematches, Jalil Hackett is getting his opportunity again to fight the guy that he had a controversial loss to. It'll be happening in Florida, I think, next week?
March 15th, I think.
Let's talk about
I'm rocking a major shirt now.
Major.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how's that rematch look like, and then what's the difference makers coming into this fight?
The first fight, I thought, everybody thought Jalil won. We just got to turn, hit the gears a little harder. We ain't really got to change too much. Just got to put the icing on the cake, Put the icing on the cake this time, that's all. He did enough to win the last fight, but we was in somebody else's territory,
This time around, being in Florida, do you feel like it's a mutual zone?
Yeah. It's more of an even playing field in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel like he needs a stoppage to win the fight due to what happened the first time?
Not necessarily. A stoppage is good, but not necessarily.
Henry Garcia offered a different take, suggesting that Davis may have been mentally distracted during the first fight. The absence of his longtime trainer Calvin Ford might have played a role, disrupting his rhythm and preparation. Garcia also hinted at possible issues outside the ring that could have impacted Davis's focus. For the rematch, he'll need everything aligned mentally and physically to return to top form.
There's no way you could say Tank won. There's no way.
Do you think that he's diminished in some way, or do you think that just mentally he just wasn't there for the fight?
Well, a little bit of both. His age is catching up to him. His legs aren't there as he used to be. And, he switched his trainer, that's could be another factor.
With Barry Hunter being the head trainer and Coach Calvin being outside.
Yeah, but he snapped at Calvin too. So that's, there was something going on. I really don't know, and I couldn't really speculate on that because I don't know. But I know that something was bothering Tank because Tank is a good fighter and he's out to hurt you, but hey, Lamont Roach stood his ground, and he did a great job.
One of the most talked about moments of the first fight was when Davis went down on one knee in the 9th round, and the referee chose not to call it a knockdown. That moment has sparked widespread debate, with many believing it should have affected the final score. The incident added fuel to the rematch fire, with fans and analysts calling for a conclusive fight free from officiating controversy. This rematch could finally give the boxing world closure.
All right, man. Listen, it's been a couple of days since that Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight. And look, you fooled me once, okay? I'm going to let y'all get that. Y'all got that. But come on, man. This was a money fight, clearly, and also clearly Tank lost. I mean, there's no mistaken identity that Roach landed more punches. Tank had a higher percentage. But when we look at the punches and the punching power, it was Lamont Roach 8 rounds to 4. And then if you take in consideration that Tank took that knee, which count as a knockdown, the ref even started counting. I mean, there's nothing even to debate here. If they were tied without them even counting that, if you supposed to have counted that part, he would have actually lost the fight. It's a win for Lamont Roach. Get your bag. Go out there and say you the only person that tied with Tank Davis. But, man, if y'all fight, y'all better fight for real. Because this, be real, man.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.